And then we come to theoretical understanding. Now, theoretical understanding is extremely broad in scope, things that would fall into the category of theoretical understanding. Names of lines and spaces. Durations like quarter note, eighth note. Letter names, e.g. BDF, FACE. Gordon says, music theory explains to students through intellectual understanding how and why they audiate as they do when they engage in musical thought and performance. The question of why and how music is perceived, audiated, performed, read, written, created, and improvised as it is occupies central importance. Common practice theory, he says, though, is just an explanation of notation. So Cindy Taggart, faculty member of the Gordon Institute for Music Learning, explains the crux of the matter.
And so the thing about theoretical understanding that is different from music theory is when you're saying theoretical understanding, you are assuming audiation.
Instead of solfege at the theoretical understanding level, we use letter names and time value names as our verbal association. Solfege, remember, is a movable system and represents pitches and durations in your audiation within the context of a tonality or a meter. We can superimpose this audiation-based system into any key or any meter. The letter system and the number system are fixed systems that connect to pitches on the staff, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, along with sharps and flats, and or specific notes on an instrument. A will always be A, regardless of the tonality. Rather than theoretical understanding being a place that we arrive, it is much more valuable as a place to bridge to pick up theoretical information that students might find valuable in the moment. A quarter note will always be 1/4 of a whole note. An F doesn't mean anything really, but when F is preceded by the knowledge of major, minor, tonic, and dominant that students have received at the oral and verbal association levels, there is a rich foundation on which to draw. A quarter note doesn't mean very much by itself, but when you've gone through oral, verbal association, partial synthesis, and symbolic association, a quarter note means an awful lot, in multiple time signatures and across several rhythmic functions. So at that point, the math of rhythm is an explanation of things that students can already audiate. Or to speak intelligently with musicians who do not have the same audiation-based verbal associations our students have. When students are at the composite synthesis level, for example, the difference between do, mi, so and la, do, mi might need a visual explanation because they, by themselves, look identical. Therefore, knowing the key signature, a theoretical construct, solves this problem. When combining rhythmic functions, as we are vacillating between time signatures and meters at the composite synthesis level, we can use the theoretical concept of the rhythm tree as a problem-solving tool. At the symbolic association level, knowing that a key signature tells you which letter named do is will help you know where on an instrument to play. The skill learning sequence does not account for inversions of chords wherein the root is not the lowest note in the bass. When students have the audiational understanding of the notes of the chord, explaining to them the root, the third, and the fifth will have real meaning. Similarly, knowing how to read chord symbols is a theoretical construct. If that is based on a strong foundation of how music works, that is, lots of experience with 1, 4, and 5 chord progressions, there will be a foundation of knowledge underneath C, F, and G. You won't be playing blindly. You'll anticipate. In short, theoretical understanding, with its vocabulary, needs to be supported by audiation for it to have any real practical value. Without audiation, it's a set of interrelated facts that students memorize that have limited musical value. With audiation, it becomes a powerful tool that can assist in bringing deep theoretical knowledge to music, to make meaningful connections to an instrument, and to communicate with other musicians. As always, please like and subscribe. It really helps me and YouTube out. And head on over to my website, theimprovingmusician.com, where I have lots of good freebies for you. Ta for now.
To get started with Gordon's music learning theory, you might want to check out my book, MLT Any Music Teacher Can Do, Day.
No PhD required. In this book, I explain in brass tacks the theory of MLT and, more importantly, how to practically apply it in your classroom today.